What's going on, everybody? My name is Mason from Cyclone MMA, and welcome back to Let's Talk MMA, the most inconsistent MMA show on the internet. I'm back, guys, okay? I'm a senior in college. I've had a lot of projects and homework and assignments and a bunch of other bullshit that I kind of had to step back from YouTube. I was posting like every single day here. I was grinding. I was keeping up with everything. And then I had to be like, okay, we're going to chill out a little bit. We're going to come back. So we're getting back into the swing of things. We're going to be making more videos. We're probably not posting every single day to start, but we'll get there eventually. We're going to start ramping it back up, and we're going to go just off. We have a lot of topics to talk about today. We got Font versus Vera. We're going to talk about that fight. We're going to talk about Colby Covington and the new photos that have been released of him getting Pow right in the kissard. Weird way to say that. We're going to talk about UFC 274. We're going to talk about me, grappling, drunk, interesting. And I'm going to give out some MMA awards. All right, we don't have to talk to me anymore, okay? We're going to get into this. We're going to do this. We're going to start off with Rob Font versus Chito Vera. So, I didn't watch this fight live. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had some stuff going on. I had some extracurricular activities going on at this time. I did check my phone afterwards to see who won, and I saw Chito, and I said, cool, let's look at the stats. Rob Font outlanded him by a lot. He landed a lot more strikes than Chito Vera, and this is the second fight where this has happened. His last fight against Jose Aldo, he outstruck him, lost the fight. So the next day, I ended up watching it. And I just had to figure out, like, what's going on with this dude? Like, he's able to just land so many significant strikes and isn't able to get the W. Like, was there takedowns? And there weren't really takedowns in this fight. But Chito Vera knows how to win fights. And he proved that in this because he was getting pieced up every round. Every round he was losing until, like, the last minute, last 30 seconds where he did some crazy shit and dropped dropped Font. This happened like 3 or 4 rounds. He dropped Rob Font and won the round. He just stole him. He's a thief, dude. Losing the round, stole it. He goes, my round, thank you. Yeah, sucks for Rob Font. Such a crazy good striker, but Chito Vera, dude, his ability to take a punch and stay in the pocket and keep throwing and just say, I'm more powerful than you, so when I land, it's going to hurt you more than your punches are going to hurt me. Pretty wild. Now I want to play matchmaker. Rob Font, we'll start with him. Who does he fight next? So he's dropped down 2 spots. He's in the 7th spot. Above him, he has Merab Dvalishvili. Above that is Chito Vera. Below him, you have Dominic Cruz. Then you have Song Yadong. And then you have Pedro Munoz. So I think there's 3 options. Really, it's the 3 fights below him. Dominic Cruz is coming off a win against Pedro Munoz. That'd be an interesting fight. They have a fight in common. Cody Garbrandt completely outclassed Dominic Cruz. Cody Garbrandt got completely outclassed by Rob Font. So that'd be interesting. MMA math, another one of those situations. Is it going to work? Is Rob Font going to destroy Dominic Cruz? I know Dominic Cruz wants to make a run for a title again, so that makes it interesting. Then you have Song Yadong. I think that's a fight you absolutely can do. Song Yadong's coming off of a huge victory against Marlon Moraes, who's now retired. Pedro Munoz coming off of a loss. Rob Font's coming off of a loss. This is what I think you should do. Rob Font versus Pedro Munoz. They fought before. Pedro got the W. Now Rob Font's ahead in terms of rankings. He's 7. Pedro's 10. Remake that. Will Pedro get the edge? Will Rob Font prove to be a top 7 guy and shove Pedro further down the rankings? That's a fight I think they should make. Next, you have Chito Vera. What do we do with him? I say we go ahead and give Chito Vera to Corey Sandhagen. We say, okay, Chito, you're top 5, right? You're in the 5th spot. Let's see if you're really top 5 because you got Corey Sandhagen. He's coming off of 2 losses, but we all know Corey Sandhagen is freaking legit, and you're not going to give Corey Sandhagen a title shot because he already lost to Aljo in the first round. He got submitted. He lost to the number 1 contender, Petr Yan. Very close fight. He lost to the number 2 in the division, TJ Dillashaw. Very, very close fight. I thought he won that fight. So I think that's what you do with Chito. You say, okay, you're not going to fight, 2-1 or the champion. You're not going to fight Aldo again. Fight Corey Sandhagen, the boogeyman of the division. If you can beat him, the title shot's coming, babe. That's what I think. That's my thoughts. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below who you think should fight Chito Vera next. We're going to move on to some sadder news. Whether you like Colby Covington or not, you do not want to see this. You don't want to see him get sucker punched in the face. A couple of you do. A couple of you do want to see that. Okay, I see you. I see you out there. But you just can't. You can't have this going on. Here's the image. But yeah, you have Colby Covington, chipped tooth. I went to his Instagram right away and I was like, is he still looking like this? Is he still looking like the hillbilly that, you know, lives in the trailer park next door? And he isn't. He got his teeth fixed. He's, you know, still doing the thing with the hot babes that he pays to be on his Instagram and, you know, saying like, hey, nerds and virgins and all that good stuff. But it's interesting to see the images of Colby Covington, and it makes it seem more real. Like, we all knew the headlines. Jorge went out and did his thing, but we saw the images and what it did. I think Jorge accomplished what he meant to accomplish, but he is not going to be winning this war. He might have won the battle. Well, he lost the first battle in the cage. He won the second battle by sucker punching Colby Covington, but he's going to lose the war because he's going to lose a lot of money. He just signed a big contract with the UFC. I don't know how many fights, but it's one of the largest contracts they've ever given a fighter. He's going to lose a lot of that money to Colby Covington. And on top of that, apparently there's like a restraining order put against Jorge now. So that makes the rematch weird, right? Like, I wanted to see a rematch eventually, even though, like, we know how this fight's going to go. Like, I assumed Dana was going to try to make that at some point just because money, and that's a winnable fight for Colby. But if there's a restraining order, how are they going to stay 500 feet away from each other and fight in an octagon? It's going to make it kind of tricky. They're going to have to get creative. I don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe they like have a Nerf battle in the octagon. I don't know. But yeah, Colby Covington, that's his face. He got punched in it, and yeah, Jorge Masvidal really just went pow right in the kisser, right to his face. So we're going to move on to more interesting topics, okay? We're going to talk about UFC 274. I have the rankings here. Let me pull them up. Where are they? There they are. There you are, rankings. Rankings, what am I talking about? No, the card. I'm pulling up the card for UFC 274. There are a lot of dope fights on this card. You guys see it on the screen right now. We're going to start on the bottom, okay? Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lauzon. Joe Lauzon, I feel like, is coming out of retirement for this fight. I haven't seen him in a bit. Donald Cerrone should be in retirement right now, so this makes it interesting. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I always say, like, Cowboy needs to retire, right? I'm looking forward to this fight. I think this is actually going to be really good. It's just a great style matchup. They're very similar. They're going to stand. They're going to bang. They're going to make it entertaining. They both, like, these guys are kind of fight of the night, like, champions. They have a lot of bonuses. Who do I see winning this? I think Cowboy gets it done. I think Cowboy, historically, like, peak Cowboy beats peak Lauzon. I don't know how Joe Lauzon's doing right now. I know Cowboy's not doing great, but he's been fighting dogs. And when you fight dogs and you're as old as Cowboy, you're going to get knocked out a few times. And we've seen that. I'm hoping that Cowboy's chin holds up and he can get the W. I see it happening. I could be wrong, and I think a lot of you are probably going to disagree with me, but that's my pick. Moving on, we have Shogun Rua versus Ovince St. Preux. This is a rematch. They fought back in like 2014. I'd Google it, but I don't care enough. Ovince St. Preux won. He got a knockout in the first round, maybe, or the second, or the third, or one of those. Who wins now? They're both coming off of losses. Shogun recently fought Paul Craig, and he lost that fight. He got knocked out, TKO. Then you had OSP. He's coming off 2 knockout losses, one to Jamal Hill, one to Tanner Boser. It's kind of an old man fight. You got Shogun, he's 40 years old. You got OSP, he's 39. I see Shogun getting the edge. Why? I don't know. I just see it. I think he gets a submission victory. Don't at me. Don't bet on that because you shouldn't bet on any of these, okay? I'm usually wrong. So if you want to make money, just do the opposite of whatever I choose. You've been warned. Moving on, we have the real people's main event. Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson. Michael Chandler, what a freaking signing by the UFC. He's been so entertaining, from the Dan Hooker fight to his title fight to the freaking Gaethje fight. It's all been awesome. Are we going to see the El Kukui of old? Are we going to see Tony kind of bleeding and like smiling and just charging, throwing elbows, doing anything and everything he can to win this fight? Or are we going to see the guy who just gets dominated? I don't know. Michael Chandler's explosive as hell, but I want to see this fight get to the third round. I want to see both guys bloodied up and just going at it, a dog fight. And I think both of them want that too. So, who do I see winning this? I'm a big El Kukui guy. I love Tony Ferguson. With that being said, I see Michael Chandler getting the W. I see him getting a knockout win in the first round. This hurts to say. This really hurts to say. I love Tony, dude. I just don't think it's his time right now. I think his time has kind of passed. I hope I'm wrong. I don't mean to be that guy. But he's just gotten completely outclassed in his last couple fights. And he doesn't look like the Tony Ferguson that we all know and love. So I see Chandler winning. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping we get a competitive fight, a back and forth affair. But I got Michael Chandler winning that fight. Moving on, we have Carla Esparza versus Rose Namajunas. This is another rematch. Carla Esparza got the W the first time around. How did she win that fight? I don't know if I've seen it, actually. I might have to go back and rewatch that. I probably should have rewatched that before giving my prediction. But we're going to look into that right now. I'll just tell you who I think is going to win this in the meantime. Thug Rose, I don't know who's going to beat her in that division. She's just looking so good. Carla Esparza is coming off of 5 wins. Interesting. She defeated Rose Namajunas in the third round back in 2014. It's been 8 years since then. Carla Esparza, she's a great wrestler. She's a great fighter. Man, she has some good W's. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. I really should have watched that fight and, catch up on both of these fighters before doing this. I know I've seen a lot of these. I'm going Thug Rose, ultimately. I'm interested to see if Carla Esparza can get it done, though. Just because she has some, her last couple wins are very good against Jan and Marina Rodriguez. Those are two very, very good fighters, very, very good strikers. And the fact that she was able to get the W is huge. But I think Thug Rose at this point is just too damn good. I think she's elite. Her and Trevor Whitman just always seem to have the greatest game plans. And I think she's going to get it done. I think Thug Rose is going to do it. And that allows us to move on to Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. Now, I did say that Chandler and Ferguson are the people's main event. I lied. This is the main event. This is a firefight. Charles Oliveira is super entertaining as a champion because he always gets rocked and he loses the first round and then comes back and just wins. And he's super well-rounded. On the ground, he's a beast. He'll turn you into a pretzel. In his hands. His stand-up game, that's what I'm trying to say, Jesus Christ. His stand-up game has gotten so much better. When he started beating Kevin Lee on the feet, that's when I was like, oh, this guy's good. This guy's good. And then what was it after that? Was it Tony Ferguson after that? Pieced him up on the feet, pieced him up on the ground. He's just looked so damn good, whether he's standing or on the ground, whatever it is. Then you have Justin Gaethje, who's the killer of men. His pace is relentless. He throws haymakers. He just goes out there trying to blitz people, trying to knock people's head off. How do I see this fight going? I will let you know as soon as I take a sip of water. Never eat before recording a show. It's just a bad idea. You're burping. You need water. Bad idea. Let's get back to the fights, eh? Okay. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. I have Charles Oliveira winning this fight. That hurts. I love Justin Gaethje. He's the man. Can he win this fight? Yes. He's got to get it done in the first or second round, I think. I think he's just got to go after him. Land heavy shots. Throw some leg kicks. Make Oliveira think about the legs. And then just whale some shots. I think if he's going to win in the first round. We saw Michael Chandler almost win in the first round. We saw Dustin Poirier almost win in the first round against Oliveira. Gaethje's got to get it done because if he doesn't kill him, he's going to be coming after him in round 2. In Oliveira, if he takes it to the ground, he's going to be beating up on Gaethje. Now, I do think Gaethje is very good takedown defense, but I can see this fight going very similar to how Khabib versus Justin went. Not saying that Oliveira is the takedown threat that Khabib is, but I think Gaethje's going to do everything in his power, and he's going to be so focused on not letting Oliveira take him down that he's going to be open for shots, and he's going to tire himself out. In that first round against Khabib, he was gassed, dude. He was really putting in a lot of effort, avoiding those takedowns, and he was just throwing sloppy haymakers. If he does that against Charles Oliveira, Oliveira will be there, and he will win the fight. So there it is. I have Charles Oliveira winning this fight via, I don't know how he wins. Knockout? It's kind of hard to knock out Gaethje. I'm going to say submission. Could be wrong. It's hard to submit Gaethje. I don't know if he's been submitted outside of Khabib, but there you have it. I have Charles Oliveira winning this fight. We're going to move on to some MMA awards. I only have 2 MMA awards to give right now. After, next Saturday's main event, I'm going to have a lot of awards, hopefully. But the first award, you guys can guess what it is. I'll give you a couple seconds. It's called the It's My Show Award. It's my show, the award. Any idea who this goes to? It goes to Chito Vera, because he was supposed to lose to Sean O'Malley back in the day, right? The Sugar Show. Sean O'Malley had all the hype. Chito Vera, landed that kick. He landed that leg kick where it was a calf kick and it shut down Sean's nerve. It was kind of a weird fight, but he won nonetheless. He took the hype. He said, nope, it's not the Sugar Show. It's the Cheetah Show. It's my show. And since then, look at him. He's top 5 in the division. Went from fighting Sean O'Malley. I don't know what he was ranked at that point. He might have been like 15. It was pretty, it was in that 10 to 15 range. Everyone was expecting Sean O'Malley to win that fight. Cheeto goes, no, I'm going to win that. I know he lost to Aldo since then, but beating a guy like Rob Font, being in the top 5 in the division, it's a big thing. So congrats to Chito Vera. Enjoy your It's My Show award. And keep this going. Fight Corey Sandhagen. Try your luck there. Yeah. And this next award, it is the Hey, I Want to Be a Champion award. I'll say this one more time, guys. Hey, I Want to Be a Champion award. Who does this go to? I don't think you guys are going to guess this one. This is a little bit deeper of a cut. Alexander Gustafsson. If you got it, congrats. I don't know how you did that, but so Alexander Gustafsson, right? I should pull up his page. His last 2 wins. So his last win was Glover Teixeira. The win before that was Jan Blachowicz. Do you notice anything there? The 2 previous light heavyweight champions. You had Glover, is the current champ, and before that was Jan Blachowicz. Those were his last 2 wins. And he's on the outside now. He's never been a champion. He's fought for the title many times. And he's just like, guys, I want to be a champion. Now, you do have Alexander Gustafsson. He tried the heavyweight experiment. It didn't work. He fought Fabricio Verdum, and he got submitted. You can't go to the ground with Verdum. It's not going to end well. I think we know that. But then you had Anthony Smith, which he got submitted in the 4th round. That was in 2019. Before that, it was John Jones, where he got finished on the ground at UFC 232. That was in round 3. Then before that, Glover Teixeira. Before that, Jan Blachowicz. He actually knocked out Glover. Sucks for this dude. It's like one of the guys, like one of the best fighters to never win a championship, but he's trying it again. He is fighting in July, I want to say July 23rd, and he is fighting Nikita Krylov, who's ranked 11. So I feel like Alexander Gustafsson's going to give it one more go. He sees this light heavyweight division, and it's maybe not as stacked as some of the other divisions in the UFC. Not to say that there's not savages in the division, but I think he wants to take one more go at it. If he can beat Krylov, then maybe he can get a top 5 opponent. If he can beat that, it's a title shot, and he seems to be trying his luck. I know he had retired. He's back. I think he wants to taste gold. I hope he's able to do it. But it seems like this light heavyweight division is just going to be rotating champions because you have Prohaska, who I think is going to be the favorite to beat Teixeira. But then you have so many other beasts coming. You have Ankalaev, you have Rakic, and now possibly Alexander Gustafsson. So hey, I want to be a champion. That award goes to Alexander Gustafsson. I wish him the best of luck on his return to the light heavyweight division. And that is the last of the MMA talk. We kind of have some MMA talk-ish coming up right now, but it's a little different. It's more of a story time. So if you're not interested in me at all, you're done here. You can click out. Be sure to leave a like before you leave. But it's time to talk about me drunk grappling, okay? So I had a bonfire. It was like a mini party. Had some people over. And me and my buddy James, when we get drunk, and he's like much smaller. He's probably 40 pounds lighter than me. 30, 40 pounds lighter than me. Whenever we get drunk, we're like, all right, dude, let's throw down. And we don't like throw hands because I would kill him. No, I'm kidding. We just like love grappling. And me and him did a few jiu-jitsu classes together. We just like, even when we were younger, we've been friends since like first, second grade. We always just love to just wrestle. So we were at a bonfire, right? And so we just start like grappling, and like there's people at the bonfire. We're over to the side, and we're just doing it. Before we realize it, it's been like 30 minutes of us just going at it. We're both exhausted. People are like, guys, why are you grappling? Like, you're 20-something in the grass, getting grass stains all over your shirts at a party. Like, stop grappling. We're like, you're right. So we stop, and like, we had fun. It was a blast. We're like, that's sick. That's so much fun. Drunk. These things happen. Next day, my cousin's boyfriend, who's big into MMA, we watched the Rob Font versus Chito Vera fight together. He had watched it that night, but we wanted to watch it together the next morning because he was over. And so we're like watching it, and I'm like talking about like, oh, dude, my neck's kind of jacked up. Like, he's like, oh, what happened? I was like, oh, I was grappling my buddy last night. He's like, oh, do you want to do that? Because he's taking some BJJ classes too. And I'm like hungover. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But then I'm like, I kind of do. It'd be really fun. I'm curious how I do against this guy. So we go outside. We start grappling. Eventually, my whole family is just watching me and my cousin's boyfriend that I only met a couple months ago, just like grappling outside. We do 2 rounds, and at the end, he gets up. I stay down. He's like, you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to puke. And so he's like, all right. He walks away, and I just start vomiting in front of my entire family. So really, I'm telling you this story as, you know, a message, as a lesson. So don't grapple when you're hungover. It's just a bad recipe. It's a recipe for disaster. What I will say, though, is once you get that alcohol vomit up, you feel so much better. Like, it was kind of like, I'm kind of like, oh, I got an exercise, and this hangover is like done. So it was pretty cool. Other than like, he got me in a guillotine. It was pretty deep. I was like fighting to get out, and I did not stretch my neck enough because I popped out and I got on top. But like in the process, I totally pulled a muscle in my neck. So I think when summer hits, I'm going back to that class because I want to learn more and I want to compete more because it's so fun to just grapple people. It's so freaking fun. Like, you don't have to worry about getting punched. You just grapple people. It's awesome. It's like you get to pretend to be an MMA fighter, but you're just doing one discipline. Yeah, good shit. So just figured I'd tell you guys about that. Good times. Drunk grappling. Hangover grappling, not good. Drunk grappling, good. Repeat. Hangover grappling, bad. Drunk grappling, good. And that's the episode of Let's Talk MMA. This is the 7th episode. We're going to have more coming. We're going to have more content coming to you guys. Yeah, I wonder how long this was. This might be the longest one yet. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out. Thumbs up. I punched the mic. Check that out. See this? We're getting some production value here. Why am I still talking? We're done.